flew as steel kissed steel. Behind them, the battle swayed. Ember's phalanx advanced, inch by bloody inch, pushing ashen infantry back. The ground was churned to mud and stained with blood. Horses reared, bodies fell, and cries of triumph and agony mingled under the dawn sky. At a critical moment, Auldric faltered, his leg buckling beneath a spear thrust from an Ember pikeman. He fell, sword clattering aside. Varro seized the opportunity, raising his blade for the final blow. But Ishara intervened. She dove between them, parrying Varros's swing with her slender sword. "Enough!" she cried. "Spare him!" The king paused, eyes blazing. Beside him, the wounded spearman who had earlier wept now knelt and declared, "Iron Wolf showed mercy to my brother in Greystone's service." His voice trembled. "Spare him, for his honor is ours to respect." Varros lowered his blade. A hush fell across the field as soldiers on both sides paused, catching breath. Auldric lay panting, blood pooling beneath him. The moment of mercy rippled through the armies, steel sheathed by unspoken respect. Chapter 15. The Phoenix's Flight. Seizing the pause, Ishara called to Varros, "Now! Rally the cavalry!" With a shout, Ember's knights formed behind the phalanx. Their charge rolled forward like a living wave, breaking the remaining ashen lines. On the north ridge, Corvin arrived with fresh archers, loosing a hail of arrows that drove the last pockets of ashen resistance into retreat. General Auldric, shamed but alive, watched Varros's riders sweep past. Greystone spearmen, battered and leaderless, made for the woods. Those who lingered were captured or fled. At the field's center, the war standard of the Phoenix was planted in the muddy earth, its twin flames glowing with fervor. As archers fired victory volleys, a cheer rose, Ember's triumph at the Crossroads. Chapter 16. Ashes of Honor. When the battle drew to a close, Ishara tended to wounded on both sides. She found Auldric on a makeshift litter, his leg bound with torn linen, his one good eye fixed on her. "You honored mercy," he rasped. "Ember's victory is just, but remember, today's mercy buys tomorrow's peace." Ishara bowed her head. "Your words mirror the ancient text. There is a way of survival which helps and strengthens you. We fight to save lives, not to sow vengeance." In the aftermath, Kenton the bard sang of the phoenix and the wolf, of mercy amidst war. Around cinders and corpses, campfires rekindled as healers worked. The dawn of a new age shimmered in cautious hope. Part 5. The Dawn of Diplomacy. Chapter 17. Smoldering fields and quiet words. The morning after the battle, the crossroads lay littered with spent weapons, broken shafts, and the still forms of the fallen. Ember's survivors moved among the dead, offering prayers and scooping shallow graves for both friend and foe. A hush gripped the air. Victory felt heavy with loss. King Varros summoned General Auldric under a makeshift pavilion draped with the Phoenix standard. Nurses bussied over the Iron Wolf's wounded leg. Ishara stood nearby, cloak stained with blood and ash. Varos offered Auldric a goblet of spiced mead. "Drink," he urged. "You fought with honor." Auldric accepted, wincing as he drank. "You showed mercy when you could have slain me. That I will not forget." Ishara stepped forward. "We fought for our people's survival, not vengeance. Let this be the first step towards peace." Auldric nodded, his one good eye moist. "Then let us speak terms." Chapter 18. The Treaty of Ember's Cross. That afternoon, under tents pitched on the sodden plain, emissaries from Ember, Ash, and Greystone gathered. Chancellor Elda presided for Ember, Lyra for Ash, and Sir Alric represented Greystone. A long table bore parchments, quills, and inkpots. Elda began. "We aim to end this war with a treaty that ensures stability, recognition of Ember's sovereignty over the Highland Glen, protection of Ash's western borders, and neutrality for Greystone." Lyra's lips curled in a half-smile. "Ash concedes the Glen so long as its people retain rights to their lands and levy burdens are abolished." Alric added, "Greystone will uphold its neutrality and withdraw its spearmen within 3 days of signing." Varos dipped his quill. "Then we agree." As ink dried on the parchment, trumpets sounded across the fields, a fanfare to herald peace. Soldiers of both armies lowered their weapons and watched in wonder. Chapter 19. Healing the Wounds. In the days that followed, Ember's healers and priests worked tirelessly. Field hospitals were erected. The wounded of both sides were treated equally. Lady Ishara oversaw medical caravans, ensuring supplies reached every camp. She paused one morning beside Auldric's tent. "How fare you?" she asked. Auldric, reclining on straw, managed a wry grin. "Better. Mercy may heal the soul, but your herb salves heal the flesh." She smiled. The art of war speaks of the importance of logistics, supplies, and care. We heed that in peace as well as war. Chapter 20. A New Order. With the treaty in place, Ember, Ash, and Greystone agreed to forge the Triune Council, 3 representatives governing border security and trade. Each realm would send envoys to Ember's capital once every moon cycle to resolve disputes. Chancellor Elda addressed the first gathering. "Our shared scars remind us of the cost of war. Here we bind ourselves to consultation over conflict." Lyra, seated opposite, inclined her head. "Ash commits to these councils in good faith, for the path of destruction is closed to us." Sir Alldric tapped the table. "Greystone stands as guarantor. Should any realm break faith, we will convene with arms, but only after every diplomatic channel is exhausted." Chapter 21. Legends Forged in Fire. Bards and scribes chronicled the conflict as the War of the Two Paths. Songs spread of Lady Ishara's tactical brilliance, General Auldric's valor, and King Varos's mercy. In taverns across the lands, minstrels recited the epigram. Whether you live or die depends on the configuration of the battleground. Whether you survive or perish depends on the way of battle. Children learned at their mother's knee about the hidden pass, the scorched bridge, and the crossroads of fate. Statues were raised, a phoenix atop Raven's crest, a wolf beneath Black Helm's gates, and twin hands shaking beneath a neutral arch, the symbol of the Triune Council. Years later, as peace held firm, Lady Ishara stood before her own students in Ember's Academy of Strategy. She traced lines on a map of the old battlefield. Remember, she taught, military action is the ground of death and life, and the path of survival or destruction. Study the land, adapt your plans, and seek the way that strengthens you. Abhor unnecessary conflict, and when you emerge victorious, show mercy, for that too builds lasting power. Across the courtyard, General Auldric, now Ambassador of Ash, offered guidance in the new diplomacy wing. King Varos's phoenix standard flew over the academy, fluttering in the breeze as if alive. Epilogue. Paths Eternal. On the 17th anniversary of the War of the Two Paths, Ember's gates opened to welcome deputies of Ash and Greystone. The Triune Council met once more beneath the neutral arch. Children ran among the stones, free and unafraid. Lady Ishara and Ambassador Auldric greeted each other with respect. Between them, the arch bore an inscription: "In the ground of death and life, choose the way to strengthen you. Thus will you endure." They entered the hall together, symbols of former foes turned architects of peace. Outside, the phoenix and the wolf, once emblems of war, stood side by side, reminders that strategy, mercy, and adaptation are the true cornerstones of lasting power. And so the kingdoms of Ember, Ash, and Greystone walked the paths of Ember and Ash, guided forever by Master Sun's timeless teachings.